Righto guys, so one of the next things we've got to do is get these gates painted and colour matched. Obviously this is just the primer that came on the raw steel, and we've obviously polyurethaned all the little radiuses to get it all neat and tidy. So we have to now put a coat of primer on this and then put the Dove Blue on top of it, and obviously try to match this. So it'll be a bit of work to try and get them looking dishevelled and decrepit and crusty. So we will get these prepared. We'll give them a rub down with some wax and grease remover, some Prep-Sol, and you can see there's the other one down there. So they aren't going to cut it as they are. They're too, just looks too obvious that it's been repaired. So we'll get these primed up. We'll probably just use a brush actually. There's no point using the spray gun on this. Just touch it up as we go, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Righto guys, so one of the next jobs we've got to do is put the covers onto the doors, and we're going to try to use the original holes that have been drilled in here, and I've just made a little mark with a grey lead pencil, and hopefully we can just match them up and go from there. So got the card ready to go and made a mark on the first one. Let's see how we go, if we can line these suckers up. Okay, so we've got this door all screwed all the way around, and you'll probably notice a clamp up the top there. what I've done is I've protected the vinyl just by putting some tape on it, and I've put this clamp on only because right at this junction here is a bit of a bend, and if you push the MDF card in and then drive this screw home, this one here, what it tends to do is it'll just rip the screw straight out and put a massive hole through it because it's under so much tension. So there's two ways you can do it. You can actually, before you upholster the MDF, you can wet it down and get the contour and then upholster it, or this method works pretty good too. Just, you know, you put the screw in, clamp it, leave it for a couple of days, and the MDF will just end up staying in that position, and it won't put so much tension on this screw here and want to try to rip it out. So I'll just leave that for a couple of days on here. I've got obviously a piece of wood on the other side there so it doesn't you know, dent the panel. And yeah, leave it for a couple of days, and you'll I think you can see from above what I'm talking about. You've got that little angle there, and that's the last screw that I put in. So I normally start here, put all these ones in, and go right around to this point here. Generally it's that one there and this one here are the problematic ones that because the card's kind of bending on that angle. So that's just the way that I do it. I'm sure there's other methods. Anyway, that's done. We're still waiting for a chrome handle and the little chrome bezel that goes around it, just to match the theme on the inside here. I'll go and get the other card screwed on, but I won't film it because, you know, you guys have already just seen it. So move on to the next thing. After that, we're just waiting on a few bits and pieces still. We've got to wait for the gauges to come up the top there, and then we've got to make the gauge pod. What else do we have to do? Yeah, the door, I suppose the roof cards can go on, but we've got to paint the bit of trim, the black trim that goes on top. The seats are done, so they're actually already upholstered and ready to rock and roll. Let's see what else in here. And then, yeah, I mean, most of the electrics are done in here. We've got to go obviously into the back and hook all that up. We're waiting on a couple of motor parts still, so I'll continue that video on the assembly of the next part of the motor build. And yeah, there's not much else. We've got the gearbox oil in. We did discover one little leak, which we've tightened the bolts up, and hopefully that's fixed it. It is a new Ricoh box, so hopefully it was just a loose bolt. And yeah, that's and of course we've got to continue these guys here, getting these all sanded and put a bit of rust, trying to blend them in a bit. So we're getting closer and closer, and yeah, we'll continue. Well, hello there, Scooby. Good to see you hard at work. All right, boys and girls. Well, this is going to be one of the final little edits that we get done before I nick off to the snow and leave Oven Boy crying in the wind back here. But anyway, what we're doing at the moment is we're working on the roof, the roof cards. So we've got the upholstery wrapped over them, and we know that, you know, the original ones were just painted, and this is the original one here, and it was just a painted masonite, I think they used. I don't know, what do you reckon? Is it masonite? Kind of does look like masonite. Yeah, who knows what they used back in the 60s. But we've got to try to get the curve happening on it, so that it'll fit in the roof. Now, if you have a look in here, we have actually got the top quarter sections in, and they were reasonably pain-free to put in. I wouldn't say completely pain-free, but you know, there's always some pain involved, as we know. But you can see the curve on that section there. It's quite difficult to get them into the slot. So if anyone's got any good ideas, I really would like to know what those good ideas are, because we don't know them. And when you don't know good ideas, you do bad ideas. And bad ideas end up making you cry. So, yeah, you can see there, it's got a slot in. If I turn the camera around here, this section in here, there's a little flap inside there, and we've got to get it into there, both sides, and then push it up. And it's not hard, it's not easy. It's hard, it is hard. So we're going to have a play around here. We've got to try to beat heat. Yeah, we've got to get a curved. We're going to try and wet the MDF in this section here, and just try and bend this last section on both ends, and hopefully that will help us able to get this thing into its spot. So that's one thing that we're getting done. Obviously, the side gates are painted. They've still got to get a little bit of rust treatment, patinae look on those, but you know, we're going to leave that till later. Windscreen wipers still need to go in, or the mechanism, and obviously Paul needs to get the motor in. Unfortunately, I won't be around for this process, but we are going to, through the magic of editing and correspondence, we will keep this going, and I will be getting some footage to you guys of all that. Plus, I have got about 10 videos in the bank ready to load up strategically over the next 3 months, because I am off to Falls Creek up in the snow. I'm working up there starting next week. I'll be up there until this end of September. So I might even do a couple of little post vlogs from up there just to show you what we get up to. But yeah, sadly this will be the last post from here for a couple of months. So, but we'll keep up in tune with what's going on. Obviously, Paul will give us some updates, and he can just upload the footage to me, and I can do the editing, and I'll just do some voiceover stuff over the top of it. So that's what's going to be going on. I just want to keep you guys in the loop, and we will continue. So what we have done, obviously, we've got recapping on last week's episode. We've got the door cards on. We still have to fabricate up or assemble the top door frames, but I think we're just going to really concentrate on getting the roof done, motor, other bits and pieces. All right, so you can see this is what we've done to try to get the curve into the roof piece. We've actually just wet the MDF up here, and then we've clamped it onto the roof just to try to mimic the profile, and hopefully that will transfer to the inside section. So a little bit of an experiment. We'll see whether that works or not. You can see how we've tried to just curve it so that it'll make our job a little bit easier. One of the next jobs now we're going to do is just change out the clutch cable. The one we had was a little bit too short, so we've got to go and put a new one in, which is the slightly longer clutch cable. And then we've got a couple of other bits and pieces. We've got a couple of ground straps here, and the clutch wing nut, and a fuel tank A&N fitting, which we've got to screw in too. So we'll get that all done. Let's see how we go. So we're putting one of these little JC fuel tank -6 adapters in, which is this guy right here. And the reason we're doing this is we can do away with the brass barb and the rubber hoses and the fires and the leaking and all that silly stuff. So what's going to happen here is we've got our little strainer, so we can pop our strainer in like so, and then we can put this little cap on. And the idea is, I'm sure some of you seasoned veterans will know that this is a -6 AN fitting, which is a race, pretty much what you see on race cars, and it means we'll just run an elbow -6 fitting onto Teflon braided hose. A lot more expensive, but you end up with a better fuel system in the long run. So that'll run obviously through to the motor, and then we'll have some other -6 fittings onto the carbies. And Teflon lined braided hose obviously does not perish. Doesn't perish like the rubber. And yeah, so you got good times. Expensive setup, but worth it. It's the Pulse. All right, check this out, guys. So since the lockdown, I wasn't able to come around here, and the little fairies came in here and did some extra work. So we've got the polyurethane black KBS tinware, and we're just trying to work out.
Mock up, just to try.
This is all mock-up, of course. I mean, nothing's tight.
I've got to adjust the tinware slightly so the manifold actually fits to
We've got
it's
problems
binding. Doesn't want to go in there.
Oh yeah, of course.
Issues.
Yes.
So I've got to clearance that.
What do we talk about? Aftermarket companies not talking to each other. You can see here as well. Yeah. So there's a little bit of a gap between the stud and that.
There's a bit of a push.
Little bit of a bend out.
At least
Same deal on that one.
5 mil, yeah. So that'll be a tap job.
Yeah, just give it a tappy. Just tap it in.
Tappy.
We like tappy. Yes, so we're going to get rid of the gold because we think the gold looks a bit hokey.
It's not quite
And, you know, we don't want to introduce too many colours into the spectrum here. We want to keep it, you know, fairly monotone. And
boring. Yeah,
and boring, that's right.
Originally,
Yes.
too exciting.
So, yeah, so just trying to think what else is needed to be done underneath. So everything else lines up, exhaust-wise. Will definitely be interesting. I know a few people have said that, you know, the exhaust is a little bit small for this motor, and we know this. We do know this. It potentially might be used on something else.
Well, it's restrictive, yeah, there's no doubt about it, but it's not a screamer. It's a low rever.
It's a low rever, so
the flow shouldn't be too harsh.
yeah. And if it doesn't work,
we'll put that on another car.
that's right. It can go on. It can go on something else if it doesn't work.
And things around here to play with.
Yeah, that's right. Easy peasy, Japanesey. Righto, so we've got some carburetors on to the motor. These are the fake Webers.
Hey,
No,
afford real one.
yeah, well, can we buy real ones still?
Probably.
Probably cost you an arm and a leg. Probably cost more than the motor.
Engine bloke who makes them to suit his engines.
That's right.
So
So
we're going with that there.
we're just getting all the linkages sorted out here that are going to sit in between
And your thread spanner.
our little doovie whackers here. This is the wacky, and that's the doovie right there. And yeah, look at that. It's starting to look pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. This is we're just going through the installation instructions, how to set up the linkage. And yeah, I mean, this is all still a mock-up, guys. So we're not, we're not anywhere close to actually starting this thing. It's just more about getting everything mocked up. You know, we had to clearance some tinware around here. We've still got to do some port matching on those manifold trumpets. We've still got to play some trumpets as well. There's a lot of band equipment back there, so we can play trumpets around here.
I haven't got any trumpets.
You have no trumpets.
We could do with a trumpet player.
We couldn't. Yeah, if there's any trumpet players out there, let us know, because we could always use one.
We could, yes.
Yeah, actually, I don't think we've told people on the channel that we are musicians. So,
I'm not a musician. I just play.
well, no, he plays bass. I'm a drummer from way back then,
I play uke, man.
and yeah, that's it. Anyway, so we'll get this sorted up, and we'll get that just mocked up into its spot, and make sure all these throttle bodies work and there's no issues with it, and go from there. All right, guys. So we've got the linkage all set up on this. So it's not quite in synchronisation. We're just going to have to play around with these little plates here and get them at the right orientation, just so they're opening and shutting at the same time. But all in all, that part's done. So what we've done here for the centre section here of the motor, we're actually not going to run this original fan. We got a hamster, and he's going to run around in here, and that's going to be our airflow. And we don't need a generator either, do we? No generators around here.
It's pushed up, mate.
Yeah. So that's we'll just
Push the car.
little hamster can go around and around in that. All good. So I think that's going to be it for today's motor lesson 809, not 101. Who knows what that is? Yeah, well, it could be pumpkins that are on the ground down there. I don't know what that is. That's pretty random.
It's from the veggie patch.
We will continue at.
Those forms of mould that have gone too far.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll leave this for now, and hopefully this thing will be running soon, and we'll get some updates from the oven boy himself. So I think we're going to wrap it up for today. This will be our last post, coming out of the oven boy headquarters for a few months, so hopefully we'll get a few updates along the way. But I've got some more content to chuck up on the channel in the next couple of months that I've already got prepared, so you guys will enjoy that. And we will see you back here come end of September, and we'll get some updates along the way. Again, thanks for all the new subscribers, and hopefully, you know, come summertime when it's a bit warmer, we'll have some more exciting stuff coming up. So catch you guys in the next video, and yeah, remember to like, comment and subscribe on all this stuff, and that'll help it all out. Cheers guys, catch you later.